Hi, I'm Nick Chia.
Hi, I'm Cromwell Salvatera.
Welcome to the Marketing Summarized video series where you can get the best insights into all things marketing, business, and having a good working life. In this episode, we're going to talk about the importance of headlines. Now,
Yep,
Crom, headlines is where the reader starts their journey through your article or
that's right.
advertisement, whatever it may be, right?
That's
So,
right. That's right.
so while it's also where they start their journey, it might also end up being a non-starter if your headline isn't correct. It is that
That's right. That's
important.
right. That's right.
So to me, it also determines the amount of people who are going to read the article, engage with it, or your advertisement, not just the article. So because
Yep.
there's so many things on the internet, on the web page, on the Facebook page, on your Facebook feed that are competing with your attention, you
Yep.
basically have 1 or 2 seconds to gain the audience's attention, through a
Mm,
good headline and a good image that helps as well. But one of the things you can certainly do to get someone's attention then, and to get them to engage with the advertisement, is your headline might touch on a pain point, for example, that they can relate to,
mm,
so that you get an
mm,
emotional response out of them. So it has to be something
mm,
that's relevant to them. So that's why,
mm.
as with all things marketing, you have to know what your goal is and who your target
Yep.
audience is. That's always the first thing to determine, so that you can formulate a good headline.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Let's okay. I think it was Dan Kennedy. So one of my favorite copywriting gurus or masters, whatever you want to call it. His name is Dan Kennedy, right?
Mhm.
And I think he was the guy who said this, that the headline is literally 85% of the article, right?
Mm.
Because the purpose of the headline is to literally interrupt you uh, to what you were doing, grab your attention, and in 4 or 5 words, get you to read the article.
Mm.
So that's a good headline. And what is a headline? By the way, let's scroll back even more, right? So what is a headline, right?
Mhm.
So imagine the newspaper. I don't know if we got millennials here. I'm pretty sure you still know what's a newspaper. We're revealing our age. But a newspaper is usually folded, right? So it's called the top fold. So when they fold it, it's the top fold. That's what you get on the machine or on the newsstand, right? And the purpose of the headline is whilst you're passing or it catches your eye and you go, or your eyes, right? It catches your eyes and you go, whoa, that's interesting, right? So in today's term, okay, back in the old days, the bigger the headline, the more it captures your attention.
Mhm.
Well, not in the digital age, because that's what we got, right? That's what we got. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the headline has to be compelling enough for you to stop in your scrolling. So let's use Facebook or
Mhm.
any news outlet, right? I bet any money, all right. Most people, right, when they see or they're on that news cycle or a newsfeed, they just go, they're doing
Yep.
that, right? They're doing that, and then whoa, stop. They'll read the headline. Okay, most people even think, and this is the thing, right? Even think they've read the article. They will even
After
comment
just after reading the
after just the
headline.
headline.
Mhm.
Correct, correct. So they will even read the art. Sorry, they'll start commenting, right? And the amount of times I read a news or like a Facebook, post, right?
Mhm.
Everyone's commenting, right? Like, let's use Trump. He's very good at putting words there that are headline worthy. Yeah, okay. And they go, it's like, oh, because it was a headline that has Trump in it, immediately the comments are left wing, right wing,
Mhm.
whatever it is, right? So that's how powerful is a headline. And that's
You
why it is that important.
you made me think about it just then, and I think I've been guilty of posting after reading the headline as well.
I think
So
we
it's a good
all
point.
are.
Yes,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
think we all are. Yeah. And it's funny because there are some, for example, news articles that
Mhm.
it's a joke. The whole
Mhm.
point of the news article, it was a joke, right? It will be like spaceships and superheroes. If you read the article, but the headline captures you,
Mhm.
right? And if you read the article, you know it's a joke. But if you look at the comments on Facebook or YouTube, yeah, you go, oh man, people didn't even bother because they're arguing already. They're arguing already. Yeah. Unfortunately, that is the internet world at the moment.
Yeah.
Where
It's about speed, isn't it?
That's right. It's about speed. It's August 2020, by the way. So at this time, that's how we do things. We scroll, and we will literally judge an article or an ad by its headline. So
now I want to expand on that a bit, actually, because I came across an interesting article. It was about an experiment that a psychologist, an Australian psychologist, actually, Dr. Ulrich Ecker. He conducted this. He basically had a news article, and he had two headlines. It was the same story. The first headline was something like a man is charged over a murder in Melbourne. So a man was charged over a murder in Melbourne. The second headline was man killed in Melbourne. So the first headline, if you think about it, concentrated on the man who murdered, right? And charged over murder in Melbourne. The second headline concentrated on the victim, man killed in Melbourne. So after reading the rest of the article, which was the same, they then tested the audience and asked them, how do you feel about the man who committed the murder, the murderer, right? They gave a scale, how evil was he, for example. Depending on the headline, they got a different result. He appeared more evil under the headline that focused on him rather than the headline that focused on the victim.
How interesting is that?
Yeah, so imagine the impact that has on the rest of your copy, on how someone feels about your product after just reading the headline. There is already some sort of view formed in their head after just reading the headline that affects everything else they read afterwards.
That's right. That's right. So you could probably safely say that a headline has a priming effect, right?
Yes.
And by the way, guys, if you don't know what's priming, that is like conditioning you. You know, I'll give you an example of what is a priming effect. When you go and to a clinic, right? Immediately you sit down and on the waiting room, people, I don't know, this in the old days, some people have lab coats, for example, and immediately you think, oh, they're more of a, I trust them because they're wearing a lab coat and I'm in a clinic, right? So when they talk about your health, it must be serious, something along those lines, right? So a priming effect is, like Nick said, is like just by reading the headline, immediately your mind has now been primed into thinking in a certain way, right? So imagine how powerful would that be if that was an ad.
Absolutely.
Does it make sense?
Absolutely. And that's why you and I, we always go through that aspect of it when we formulate headlines for our clients.
Yeah, man. Oh, man. I think, let's share this to the audience. How many headlines do we need to come up with before we come? Okay, with one ad, we probably come up with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 headlines.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And usually with one ad, same messaging, same copy, right? Maybe it's an image ad or a video ad or carousel ad, whatever it is, right? My point is, it will probably be the same copy or 2 different copies, but we will have 5 headlines describing that article.
Yep.
And also the purpose of it is that headline primes the audience into or getting the audience to read, and hopefully they will be compelled by our offer. Usually it's an ad, right? And here's the thing, by the way, don't lie on your headline. Now, because if one lies on the headline and then they click and actually read the article and it was wrong, they will be out. They will be out of that. Yes, right.
So in lying, you mean don't mislead with an overpromise or something that's not relevant to everything that follows afterwards.
That's right. That actually affects, it's called in digital marketing, that's called a bounce rate. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's the algorithm is still there, both in Facebook and Google, where if they click on a CTA or a button and they go to the landing page and they're back there within 2 seconds, the algorithm says, okay, that was a lie. That the landing page or the article they visited is a lie, and that actually that scores you down, you know, in Google and in Facebook. You know what I mean? Because they went there and go, oh man, that's wrong. Bang, they're back again. So avoid doing that with your ads or your articles or your blogs.
So having said that, now let's give our audience some tips as to what makes some good headlines. Let me start. So one of the methods, thank you. One of the methods we can certainly use in a headline is to ask the audience a question. And normally the question should relate to a pain point. Yeah, so if you touch on someone's pain point and ask them a question in the headline to which you know the answer is yes, they will probably read on.
Yes.
There you go. What about you, Crom? What's your tip?
Yeah, I like questions. Yeah, and you probably see that in a lot of ads, such as especially newspaper ads that says, "Do you feel this way? If so, this." Okay. Let me give you a little tip. After you say if, you gotta say then. If that made sense. I'll give you an example. If you feel this way, then do this. Yeah, you gotta go if and then. This is a terrible headline. If you feel this way, do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta put the word then in the headline. So that's
because it's problem solution.
Yes, very, very simple. The coders, the code people, the developers would definitely understand that. Yeah, if it will go here, right? Another thing that especially in Facebook, I got a list here, by the way, guys. So I put it here. So with headlines, avoid putting periods, right? And what do I mean by that? As in full stop. Americans call it periods. Us in Australia, we call it full stop, right? So because what happens is the headline, when you read a sentence and it's a period, unconsciously you stop, right? You just stop.
And if you have
you've reached the end of the sentence, right? So the headline could be a sentence or could be a statement, could be anything, right? When the purpose of the headline is to get the reader or the audience to read more. Yeah, so let's be very, very, very solid and clear in that. The purpose of the headline is to interrupt or disrupt, saying, hey, look at me. It's like that, right? And the purpose is like, and a good headline goes, hey, look at me, read this. So in words, you're doing that. A good headline has 5 words, give and take. Yeah. A headline is not a CTA, right? I'll give you an example. Read this is good, but most of the time people go, why should I? You know what I mean? Or you can say, read this because it will make you money, for example. You know what I mean? So now it's like, oh yeah. Once again, I said, yes, I want to read that. Okay. Or read this, like especially in the dating world where you're advertising for dating apps, that's right. So you go, read this because, you know, the girl of your dreams might be doing this or likes this, right? So you need to say, read this because. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yep. You can't avoid, I'm not saying you can't. You can, of course you can, but avoid using a full stop. However, there's a however there, right? You can put a question mark. Yeah. And I'm half on this one, right? You can also use an exclamation mark because I've seen a lot of articles. Some people are very trigger happy with exclamation marks. Everything is just exclamation marks, right? That means you're yelling or you're really exclaiming something.
If it's something worth yelling about, it's okay to use.
I think one of the if it's worth putting exclamation mark, so be it.
Yeah, don't be shy. Yeah.
Also, know this as well. When it's a headline, use title case.
Yes.
And You know what's a title case? Would you like to explain what's a title case?
Yes. Now, title case is not a case where everything, the first alphabet of every word gets capitalized. That's not title
Yep,
casing.
yep,
So
yep, yep,
in the situation of a title case,
yep.
the not quite sure what the proper term is, but certainly the keywords, the important words,
Yes,
as
correct.
opposed to the connecting words being and so on, right? So the
Yep, yep.
important words are in uppercase for their first character, but
Hmm.
all the connecting words are in lowercase.
Yeah, we could give you an example. The is still capital because it's a the.
If it was in
The
front.
boy and that's not capitalized. Okay. And the girl. Does it make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
So that's, by the way, that's a terrible headline. So you probably go, the boy and the girl sees something mysterious. So that's now like, oh, tell me more. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's what I'm headlines. Oh,
Which,
and let go ahead.
oh, I was going to say that was actually the next tip, intrigue.
Yeah.
But we'll come back to that. What were you about
Intrigue.
to say?
Yes, correct, correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you will see this in a lot of ads. Okay. It becomes like, especially with quick rich scheme. By the way, don't do that in Facebook. Don't do this in Facebook. Just don't. Okay. But you'll see this a lot. You'll say, this system, yeah, this system is the ultimate whatever system it is. And this method is a revealing method. So I know it's intriguing,
Mhm.
but you're not telling what it is.
And another thing I would recommend is to not to try to sum up all the benefits of your product or service in the headline if you
Mm,
can't, because I can imagine it's your baby, it's your product, your service, you've got plenty to say about it, but the headline is meant to get someone's attention. It has to be short, and if you have a lot of benefits and features to your product, just focus on one thing alone. Because remember, we said at the very start, you are going to determine what your goal is and who your target audience is before you even start to think about the headline, right? Now think about, amongst all the benefits your product has, which is the one that is most relevant to that target audience that this ad is addressed to. And if you have many different target audiences, then create a different ad for every target audience. Change the
yes,
headline so
correct.
it's relevant to that target audience.
Mm, absolutely. I totally agree with you. Um, I think I've touched on this very lightly. It's not a call to action, it's a
Hmm.
headline. Yeah. Just to reiterate what I said before on that point that you said. Also, I've seen headlines that are like 10 words, right? No, it doesn't work. It's no longer a headline, it's a statement. Right. Yeah, I understand that people are trying to get their point across, right? But it's the same as it trying to close a sale on a headline, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I get it. Some headline says buy now, but that's actually a call to action. That's better on the copy or in the button,
Hmm.
right? Rather than the headline. Also, remember a headline, yeah, is the point is to distract and say, hey, read this, right? Imagine if you're walking down the road and some guy goes, hey, 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 buy this. Oh, you go, oh, no, see you later, mate. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
So that there goes the chat. You got one chance. Your ad or your post had one chance for that viewer to read the article, and it's now gone.
Yep, absolutely agree with that. And in the case of Facebook advertisements, there are some words that you absolutely need to avoid using. Now, Crom, you've got the list in front of you. Can you
I got my
run past
list
the
here. Yeah,
audience?
yeah. So avoid using the words jobs, rich, wealthy, or something along the lines of quick, getting rich quickly. Wealthy you can still use, but saying a quick method to become rich, for example, avoid that. Avoid the word sex or any swear words, right? Smoking, cigarettes, or politics. That's a big no-no. Okay. You can't say insurance. Can't say insurance on those words as well. And other things that are very obvious, like swear words,
Hmm.
just don't put it in there. And I don't know who in their right business mind anyway will put words like a swear word in a headline on an ad anyway.
Hmm.
So
But the reason you're saying to avoid those words is because it will get you banned.
Yeah, it will get you banned or your ads will be rejected.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, yeah, it's just, you don't want to do, yeah, let's say, okay, this is the thing. A lot of agencies or business people or marketers do this. They go and launch a campaign with one ad only. I'm not going to say much about that. I'm just going to leave it there. We don't do it that way. But anyway, that's just us, right? We don't do it that way.
Yep.
And now, because they only launch one ad with this headline and the headline is rejected, game over. They got there's no campaign, right? And they have to explain to their boss or their customer, how come there's no ads running?
So those are some of our tips for you when creating your headline, now that you understand the importance of it. Now, if you've liked this video, please click on subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, or click on like if you're watching this on Facebook. I'm Nick.
And I'm Cromwell.
Thank you very much again for watching us.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.